Hello and welcome to Perfect Jacket. This week I was going to post a video where I made this adorable pink jacket with the very cute lining, but I've just got so many questions about how to pick a pattern if you want to make your own Chanel jacket, and what sort of pattern would suit me. And I can't answer you each individually, but what I can do is just sort of talk you through the process I went through on how I sort of experimented and looked around and decided for myself what patterns suited me and suited what I wanted from making jackets. So yeah, we'll do that this week. And I have made the video of me making this adorable fluffy pink jacket, so I might post that next month or perhaps a month after. But yeah, for now I will take you through the process of becoming familiar with different Chanel silhouettes and deciding what jacket suits you and what sort of elements of the jacket you want to sort of ignore and the ones you want to keep. And yeah, and then finding a pattern that sort of matches your needs. So we will begin that now.
There's no paid promotion in this video, it's just my opinion. The two main types of Chanel style jackets are the vintage ones like these, or there's also the Karl Lagerfeld era Chanel jackets. So what we'll do is just show, instead of just showing a bunch of random Chanel jackets from the last 100 years, I'll show a few collections. So they each have enough variation in them that there's still points of interest, but yeah, it's just less chaotic to show a few collections. So we'll do that now. The Paris New York Couture collection was shown in the Egyptian wing of the Met in New York. Some gorgeous tweeds, really complicated, beautiful. So because the tweeds were so complex, the jacket silhouettes were quite simple. Then we have the supermarket one. It was iconic, not a lot of great jackets, beautiful coats, iconic handbags. Another couture collection shown in Paris. This one was inspired by vintage silhouettes, so 40s, really strong vibes, beautiful tweeds, and just each, the necklines, the buttons, each of them is slightly different. It's really beautiful to look at and get an idea of what you love about a Chanel jacket. The data collection, as in computer data, they had people walking around with robot heads. A lot of the jackets in this one are boyfriend jackets, you know, that slouchy look. Not my favorite silhouette, but they did have gorgeous tweeds. So yeah, if you're going to hero the tweed, maybe a simpler silhouette is best. The pink and white tweeds in the pop art collection were super cute. In this collection, behind and beside them, there were these massive pieces of installation art. On the left, that's a crocheted, sort of knitted jacket, and then the post-it notes, dress and vest were gorgeous, and that grey with the panel of tweed. That tweed is actually made out of lace. That was a gorgeous one. Complicated to make though. Another Karl Lagerfeld era couture collection with the weird posies on their heads. Again, great silhouettes to look at. How many buttons do you like on your jacket? Do you like collars? What sort of collars? Do you like the jackets with a lot of pieces or just the really simple ones? Big lapels, no lapels? It's just, yeah, really useful to look at them all together and decide which elements you like. Pockets, no pockets. So yeah. Plus, they're just gorgeous. Beautiful tweeds. I like that one with the visible red silk lining. This was the Flower Couture collection, and gorgeous details from Lesage. They all wore these really expensive beanies with veils on them. I love that button-down jacket with no collar. It's really interesting. The Sol collection, super cute complex tweeds with relatively clean lines and silhouettes for the jackets. Okay, that should give you a better idea of what sort of details you like in and you want in your particular Chanel style jacket. This is just one more collection from the turn of the century, Karl Lagerfeld era, and I love the beading. Please don't make jackets out of skin-tight silk. You'll get ugly sweat patches. Build ease into your jackets, and tweed is always better than a silk for a jacket that you're actually going to wear in your everyday life. But the beading weighs down the jacket to perfection. Oh, some pink and green ones. I just love these. That second from the right one with the strips is interesting, but you'd use a lot of fabric. And the one on the far right has slits in the cuffs. I do that on my jackets. It just makes them more wearable and gives you a little more ease without bulking up the sleeves. And now that you know what sort of jackets that you like, you also have to think about how you're going to wear it. Are you always going to wear it as part of a suit, or are you mostly going to wear it just casually with jeans? That will impact the type of style that you ultimately choose to go with. Okay, time for some actual patterns. This one just kept popping up while I was looking for vintage Chanel jackets. So yeah, give that a look. This is the one that I use for my vintage style Chanel jackets. It works for me, and yeah, I don't have any problems with it. It's out of print now, but I've looked on Etsy and eBay, and there seem to be a lot of copies. If you do buy a secondhand copy, just make sure that it's a reputable seller and that it's all the pieces of the pattern are there. But there's also loads of other patterns. So I'll take you to a main site now, and we'll have a look at that. But as I said at the beginning of the video, I'm not recommending that you buy your patterns here. There are lots of independent pattern makers that also produce great patterns. So this is something delightful. Just literally type that into the search engine and the site will come up. It's a company that I guess they bought, Vogue, Butterick and McCall's, and they sell all the patterns. Even if you don't buy them from here, I find it really useful just to have one central place where I can look at lots of different designs. So I actually heard about it from another YouTuber, Kittenish Behavior. I'll put a link to her channel in the description box. And she's lovely. She does sew-alongs and she's such a nice person, and she uses the most gorgeous printed fabrics to make, she makes mainly dresses, tops and skirts and the occasional coat. No jackets, so sorry, no sew-alongs for those. But yeah, she's a lovely person. Check her out. So this is something delightful, and yeah, I'll show you a few patterns that are listed on here. Vogue 1830. It's a classic silhouette. It looks quite simple, 3/4 length sleeve with that sort of cardigan loose fit. No collar, sort of cropped. Pockets or without pockets. It's got no buttons, which means you don't have to go through the agony of making buttonholes. So, and it's at the moment it's on sale, so yeah, pretty good for your basic pattern. The Vogue 8991 is interesting for quite a few reasons. I'll just read this to you. Semi-fitted line jacket has stand-up collar, side front seams, side panels, no side seams, patch pockets and two-piece button sleeves with shaped lower edge. I absolutely love those, the cuff details. The pockets, they're actually a pretty good placement because, if you wear pockets can sometimes make your breasts look saggy if you put them on at the wrong spot. I'm not personally a fan of this collar shape, but I do think it suits the jacket. It is a quilted jacket, but I would just ignore that and do the lining the way I usually do my jackets. It's a nice silhouette. It looks like it would be very wearable for every day. It does say that the lining is quilted. I certainly don't recommend that. I would just ignore that part. But if you are determined to give quilting a go, I've noticed that Linton has a new article up on their site about how you do that. But I certainly do not recommend that method. I might go a bit quicker through the next ones. 7975 is the one that I use for all my slim fit jackets with the long sleeves and the cropped torso. I really like it. If you prefer something with a collar, then... Whoops, this Simplicity one is actually one I saw on Joann's, not on the Something Delightful site. But it looks like a nice casual semi-formal jacket, very wearable. If you like the magenta Chanel tweed suit from the 2021 couture collection, then I think this Vogue pattern V1704 is, it's not exactly the same, but it's a good match. These Chanel jackets have recently become known as the Gucci-ish Chanels. So the first four are Chanel. They're from the turn of the century. And then the two people on the end are wearing the actual Gucci jackets. There's a couple of Vogue patterns. In general, the first couple of pictures that they put on each pattern are more Gucci-ish, and then if you click the last few photos, they're more Chanel-ish. Basically, if you want it to look more Chanel, then use a more Chanel type tweed. Next up is a Butterick B6738, and I just put this one in here because, you can do fringe on basically any jacket. You just put it in between the seams and then pin it and sew it. But this one is actually a pattern for jacket, dress, top, skirt and trousers. So we just thought that was kind of good value for money. And the sewing rating is average. That means it's not too difficult. I just thought this seemed like good value and user-friendly. So that's why I added this one in. Vogue 1536 is not a traditional Chanel silhouette, but if you like what Chanel's been doing for the last couple of years since Karl Lagerfeld passed away, then you probably like this jacket. It's sort of baggy but also cropped. Next up, I had to include this one. If you saw the Paris Rome collection from several years ago now, there were some little really cute capes. So I included this one. I think it's adorable. Next up we have Vogue 8804, and I don't really like this one. It's a quilted collarless jacket. I just included it because people keep asking me about quilted jackets. Basically, I just feel like it's lazy, and you end up with really weak seams after doing massive amounts of work, and you also end up squishing your tweed so it looks a bit lifeless. what quilting is instead of having a separate lining and an outer jacket which has its own independent backing, what quilting does is, well, with the original Chanel jackets, she originally made them out of jersey, and of course they sort of sagged and they fell apart, and then the clients complained. So then she, the quickest thing, sort of band-aid remedy was to just have her sewers just stitch the silk lining to the fabric of the jacket. By this time they were made out of tweed, and yeah, so all they did was cut pieces of tweed, cut pieces of silk in the same size, and sew them together, and then sort of leave big gaps around where the seams will go, and then just stitch the tweed together, then tuck the silk in and hand stitch that in. So the seams are just one bit of tweed fabric, and tweed is a delicate fabric. You should not put seam type pressure on a delicate fabric like tweed. Anyway, I could go on and on. I'll probably do a separate video on all the different types of backing. But if you want to try this method, go for it. Absolutely. It's your time. Whoopsie, cut off my rant. Oh, that's a shame. This one, it's just got a collar, and I think it looks like a decent pattern. The next two are sort of that sort of lapel, sort of collar type jackets, and I don't know, they look, if they're on sale, I'd buy them and try them out. With this red one, I don't particularly like the rounded bottom front corners, but you know, it's easily fixed in the pattern. I think they're worth a try. Next up we have 1751, and to be honest, I think I like this one because the pockets remind me of the Christian Dior bar jacket, which is just a really important piece of fashion and also a gorgeous jacket. So yeah, I just like it. So that's why I included it. And while we're being distracted by Christian Dior, this silhouette reminds me so much of like 2007, 2009 Galliano for Dior. Such a beautiful silhouette. Okay, yeah, I'm clearly getting distracted. One more and then that's it. This one is Vogue 1741, and it's just a nice standard jacket. It's not terribly Chanel-ish. But if you put really nice distinctive tweeds, if you used gorgeous tweeds, then I think it would come off looking quite Chanel-ish. So that's why I've included it. This couture Chanel collection had zips. So solidarity with people who hate having to do buttons and buttonholes. But as you'll see on Anna Wintour's wearing the suit, but she made them change it so that there's no zips on hers. So I just included this as a reminder that you can modify a pattern. If you like certain elements but you really dislike others, just buy the pattern that you can modify and make it suit your needs. I included this card because these are just some of my absolute favorite looks. The second one in on the left is my absolute favorite jacket. It's from 2003 Couture, and the Met in New York has a copy of this, has one of these suits, and the buttons are actually bead clusters made by Lesage, and the tweed, it's sort of, as you can see on the arms and the skirt, it looks like the tweed is sort of falling apart. That's because the people at Chanel deconstructed it, so cut it all up and then sewed it back on to the organza. It's just so beautiful, gorgeous craftsmanship. Now over on Instagram in particular, on my Perfect Jacket account, I get asked so often if I can give people free patterns or tell them where to get free patterns. Mood Fabrics, where you can get some pretty decent fabrics, also have a section. It's called Society, and it's their community of sewers, and they have a section for free patterns. So just click on that and put in the search bar jackets, and some coats and jackets and capes will come up. I like that red one. I think that looks like it might be cute, but I've never done a PDF pattern. So you sort of just have to print it off. So you either have to have a printer or go to the print shop and print it off, and then you sort of stick all the pieces of paper together and then cut out your pattern. But apart from that, it's free. So yeah, if that's what you're after, then try looking those up, or just Google. So yeah, I also get asked a lot about if I make my own patterns. No, I don't feel the need, but I understand that other people do. So there's lots of tutorials on how to create your own patterns, but I personally would recommend The Closet Historian, a YouTuber, Bianca. She's done several videos on how she creates a template, and then once you have that, you can sort of do once you've got your measurements and you have that template, then you can sort of make anything based on that. So yeah, I find her videos really easy and straightforward, and most of her clothing is vintage. So yeah, and there's also Nicole Rudolph. She actually, she's a shoemaker, but she also makes clothes. And just over December and January, she did this series on, if you know, A Muppet's Christmas Carol, and Gonzo, one of the characters in that, wears this gorgeous, beautiful costume, and she made a real life version of it using historically accurate design and methods, and it's a really, really good series, so I definitely recommend that. She also has another video on drafting a jacket. I think it's like a historical jacket, but yeah, it's beautiful techniques and really clear and easy to follow, so I'd recommend her. Okay, I think that's enough information to be going on with. These are some of my jackets. The black one is actually a Chanel jacket that I bought, and the others are just Chanel tweeds I made into jackets. So when I started making jackets, gosh, more than a decade ago now, I did go through quite a few patterns, tried lots of different ones, but now I sort of just have two patterns that are my go-to patterns. One for the cardigan vintage style silhouette, and the other for the Karl Lagerfeld era with a slim cut, long sleeves, and the cropped torso. And yeah, I keep making modifications every now and again, but in general, I like them. They're really clean, simple silhouettes, and that allows me to, and they also use quite a small amount of fabric, like 1 yard or 1 meter of fabric, which allows me to buy much more expensive tweed than if I needed 3 meters or 3 yards for each jacket. So that's just a personal choice that I chose to preference that. Work out what's important to you, and yeah, just keep that in mind when you're choosing your pattern and making the modifications. So yeah, and if you do decide to go with Something Delightful or Joann's, just keep in mind that they have sales all the time. So if you don't want your jacket immediately, maybe just keep checking back and wait for when they have a sale, and that way you can get a couple of different patterns and try them out and end up with one that you really, really like. Well, thanks for watching this video, and have fun making your own Chanel style jacket.